What is up, YouTube? It is the Ville Outdoors here. Today is June 15th of 2023, and I am here at this tiny little stream in New Jersey, and we're going to be looking for a species that I don't have yet, and that is going to be the Slimy Sculpin that supposedly resides in this creek. Doesn't look like much. As you guys can probably see, it hardly looks like there's any water here. It's going to be in the middle of this forest, so it's going to be a cold water stream. This is spring fed, so at certain points this houses some native trout, and then your other typical cold water species that you might find in a creek like this, like eastern black-nosed dace. I believe there's also some creek chub in here. So our main target is going to be that slimy sculpin, though. They're supposedly around here somewhere. I have a few worms with me in this bag here, so I'm gonna chop them up into tiny pieces and throw on one of my micro hooks, and we're going to walk this creek and try and find the slimy sculpin we're after. They're gonna be hiding close to structure like rocks and stuff like that, so that's what we're going to be targeting. I am not leaving here until I catch this sculpin, or else I'll be very disappointed, because I drove like 2 hours and 15 minutes through traffic to get here. It was only supposed to take like an hour and 50 minutes, so like 25 minutes added on through the traffic. But yeah, it's a little chilly up here. Elevation is a little higher here, shaded by these trees. It's gonna make things a little colder, but we're gonna have to deal with it. I forgot my creek wading shoes, so we're going in with sneakers, which might honestly be better. So yeah, enough talking, let's get after it. I'm gonna start walking in this creek, and we are going to try and find our sculpin. All right, so I got my tiny piece of worm rigged up there on the micro hook, and now we're gonna walk this stream and try and find our sculpin. No matter how long it takes, we are leaving here with the sculpin. No matter how much weeds and stuff I have to walk through, we're leaving here with the sculpin. Let's get to it. Alright guys, I found a different branch of the creek. I think this is the main branch where I'm supposed to be fishing. It's not as vegetated, so it's still pretty vegetated, but you know, it should be more navigable than that other branch. There's some small dace that I can see. Don't see any sculpin chilling on the bottom, but we should be able to walk this a little more easily and hopefully find a sculpin somewhere. Here guys, got our first little fish of the day. Little eastern black-nosed dace. Just what I thought was down there. We're gonna go ahead and take a shot and release this guy. Alright guys, last look at our little eastern black-nosed dace. We're gonna get him unhooked, and he's gonna go back in the water. Alright, he's good to go. Alright, well, we caught a fish. Now we just need to catch the fish we're after. Well guys, I just lost my first sculpin. Let's see if he's still around and wants to come back for it. I was just wiggling the worm right around the rocks, and sculpin came out and smoked it. I had him out of the water for about a second, and he fell off the hook. Pretty disappointing, but it is a good sign that there is sculpin around here, and all we gotta do is find them. Look at that guys, we got ourselves a sculpin. It is the tiniest one I've ever seen, but we got it in our hands. Let's take a shot of this guy and let this guy go. Alright guys, I just took some shots of our sculpin there. That should be a slimy sculpin, which should be species number 125 for me. Alright, so basically I had my little micro hook on here. You can just barely see it. And I was just guiding it alongside the various rocks that are in the riffle of this creek, and I was finally able to come up with a sculpin. Now the only sculpin native to this creek is going to be the Slimy Sculpin, which is a species I never caught before. So that is a new species for me. So I'm gonna continue walking down this creek here and see if I can find another one or whatever else. But however it ends up, we caught our species we were after, so that is a success in my book. All right, guys, just got another sculpin here. This one came up as a bit of a surprise. I was kind of blindly punching this. That is a more colorful sample there, so I will definitely take that. Gorgeous fish. He just flopped off the hook, so I got to be careful that I don't lose him. But beautiful fish. Let's take a shot and release this guy. Alright, well, I lost him while I was taking pictures of him, but I'll include the picture I got in the video, so you'll see that. So 2 sculpins, pretty satisfied with that. And see if we can find any more. Depending on how far the other spot I had marked out is, I might try a second spot a little later on, see if I can get another new species out of there, but I don't know if we'll be able to make it there. Well, guys, I was hoping this was going to be another sculpin, but somehow I tanagoed a little salamander there. He's not too happy about that. Let me get you off the hook there, buddy. And then we're gonna let you go back into the water. How he got that hook, I don't know. Just a little salamander. All right, that little salamander has been safely released, and now it's back to the sculpin game. All right, guys, this is super cool. Let me wet my hands. I just tanagoed New Jersey native brook trout. That is awesome. That makes it worth it right there. Let's go ahead and take a shot and release this guy. All right, guys, little brook trout gonna be released here. Gonna take the hook right out of his mouth. He's good to go. Off to swim another day. Well, that's an added bonus. We got our sculpin, and then we got our first native brook trout from New Jersey. I thought that was a creek chub at first, which is the reason I stuck the bait in front of its face. And then he came up, and was very surprised to see that it was a native brook trout. Very cool. Look at this baby little guy. Another little native brookie. That's my smallest trout I ever caught. Thought this guy was a dace swimming around, but he's going to be happily released back into the water. Kept my hands nice and wet so he could handle him properly, and he's good to go. It's good to see the brook trout repopulating. Got ourselves another little sculpin here. This one I sight fished under this rock in front of me for quite some time. Pretty little guy. Oh. Well, at least we already caught a couple, so it doesn't really matter that he flopped back in the water. Otherwise, I would have been pretty upset if that was the only one I caught and it just flopped off like that. But at least you guys saw him for a quick glimpse. I was hoping to get a picture of him because that one had pretty colors on it, but it's all right. We'll try and find another one. Here we go, guys. Another sculpin on deck. Let's keep a more of a careful hand on this guy because that one has some gorgeous colors. That makes 3 sculpins that have actually landed today. All right, guys. Last look at our little sculpin there. Gorgeous specimen. We're gonna undo our hook out of his upper lip. If he'll cooperate with me. Come on, buddy. Open wide. Let's get you some water. You can see why they call them Slimy Sculpin. There's like a slime strand in between my two fingers there from that fish. That's a little nasty. But it was pretty, so, you know, it makes up for it. Alright, it's getting a little too thick for me to keep walking down the stream here. I already had to climb over all that brush. So, I think I'm going to start working my way back. Depending mileage wise, we'll see if we can stop at another spot or not. Hopefully we can, because I'm not quite done fishing yet. Might have to stop at a gas station, but I hate stopping for gas in New Jersey. I just want to pump my own gas. Adding another species to the board here. This is going to be a creek chub. Common creek dweller. There's a whole school of them down here, so I had to catch at least one. Just a little guy. Alright guys, I gave my GPS some connection and we made it to our second spot. Now the main target here is going to be Longnose Dace. If I can catch a Longnose Dace, that's a day complete right there. That's a good day. We already caught one new species today with that Slimy Sculpin. So if I can get two with the Longnose Dace, that would be great. But we're not going to push our luck. I see some sort of dace swimming around here, so maybe we'll get lucky, but could be eastern blacknose as well. Alright guys, I got this dace here. Not exactly sure if it's an eastern blacknose dace or a longnose dace. It looks longnose like. Doesn't look like any eastern blacknose dace I caught, but I'm going to take a few more shots of this guy just to be sure, and I'm going to try and get another one that's a better sample. Alright guys, last look at our little dace here. There's a good chance this could be the longnose dace we were looking for. It looks the script, so I'm going to say it's a longnose dace for now, but I will leave it in the comments if it's not. It does have a subterminal mouth that is different from other daces that I've caught, so I think we got our lifer longnose here, which is a species I've been chasing after for quite some time. Alright, we got another dace here that could possibly be a longnose dace. I'm trying to get one of the bigger fish to bite so I can tell easier, but that could be another longnose. There's a whole school of them over by this one flat rock. I had to put a bigger split shot on to deal with the current, but I think we'll be able to get one of the bigger ones to bite. Alright, this sample here I believe is 100% without a doubt a longnose dace. I've never caught an eastern blacknose dace in my life that looked like that. So hopefully that is the one that we were looking for, if not the other two. All of them have the subterminal mouth, which is, I believe, the telltale sign for longnose dace. So this should be most definitely the second new species of the day for us. Let's go ahead and send him on his way. So now we should be up to 126 species, given that those are all longnose dace. I'll put it in the subtitles below if they weren't longnose dace, but it feels good to get that one off the back, because I knew that one has been giving me trouble for quite some time. Alright guys, I got one of the big ones here. That was my mission, catch one of the big ones. Let me go on the bank so I don't lose him. Oh yeah, 100% longnose dace. You don't catch an eastern blacknose dace that looks like that. Nope. Alright, let's take a shot of this guy and let's let him go. Alright guys, last look at our beautiful longnose dace there. We're going to go ahead and let him go. back into the water. There he goes, beautiful fish. And with that, that is going to conclude our fishing session for today. We started off at a creek practically in New York, but it was in New Jersey. Fished there for a while. Our main goal was to catch the Slimy Sculpin, which we did succeed in doing. We ended up catching 3 of those. And we also added, as a couple bonuses, we got 2 native Brook Trout. We got Eastern Longnose Dace, creek chub, and I think that's about all we caught there. And then moved to this creek specifically for Longnose Dace, which would be my target species here. And I just caught, I believe, all 4 of those fish that I caught were Longnose Dace, so definitely succeeded with my target there. Caught one of the bigger ones, which I really wanted to do just for identification purposes and have that picture for identification of the bigger sample, and we did exactly that. So mission success in my book. We caught both of our targets. It's not often that the 2 targets that I'm after come up, or however many targets I'm after come up. Yesterday I was going for warmouth, and then my side quest was bowfin. I succeeded in warmouth, but I missed on my side quest. Now today, my main mission was to go and catch the Slimy Sculpin. I succeeded in that, and then my side quest was to come here on my way back and catch the Longnose Dace, and I succeeded in that too. So overall, can't complain. Pretty excited that I was able to catch both of those species I was after and add 2 new species to my life list. So very successful day. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on the next episode of the Ville Outdoors.